10 times where chefs uses magic on MasterChef desserts. Every MasterChef fan knows that there are some insane desserts that have made their way on the show. But today, we're not just going to talk about any dessert. We'll take a look at the craziest and most creative desserts that left even the judges speechless. Here are 10 times when chefs use magic on MasterChef desserts. Number 10. Poached tomato and chili syrup. It's not every day you see someone serve a tomato for dessert, especially on MasterChef. But that's exactly what Philippa Robinson did in Season 3 of MasterChef Australia. Philippa was the only contestant brave enough to whip up a dessert that day, and boy did she make it count. Inspired by a coral reef, Philippa created a poached tomato and chili syrup that had the judges scratching their heads in a good way. She stuffed the tomato, which she described as a closed sea anemone, with a creamy mascarpone and yogurt mixture. To complete the underwater theme, she added caramelized pineapple as coral with a touch of seaweed mint. The dish was magnificent and beautiful.
It looks beautiful. The colors are magnificent.
Most importantly, it tasted great. Philippa herself even said she had never tasted something like this before, but the fact that she was able to pull it off and make it delicious proves that she's a great chef.
It's exciting. My mouth is popping. I can taste black pepper. I can taste chili. I can taste the creaminess from the cheese and the dairy and the coconut. It's magnificent. I think it's really beautiful.
Number 9. Jeremy's Charlotte Cake. When it comes to classic desserts, it's hard to beat a well-made Charlotte cake. However, Jeremy didn't just make a good Charlotte. He made one that had the judges' jaws dropping. Jeremy's orange chocolate mint Charlotte was a sight to behold, dressed up with a candied cereal and candied mint. Judges were impressed before they even took a bite, praising the neat row of ladyfingers hugging the cake. But the real magic happened when the cake was cut open. The mousse jiggled just right and the layers were very clear. Not just that, the flavors were amazing and the chocolate mousse was soft and fluffy, hitting all the right notes.
The mousse, beautiful. Beautiful, soft, fluffy. The immediate hit that I get is chocolate. Then that mint starts to come around. The piece that I don't get is the orange. I think you needed a little bit more orange just to punch through. Overall, it's a solid Charlotte cake. Thank you, Jeremy.
Number 8. Japanese matcha roll cake. To make a winning dessert, sometimes less is more. That's exactly what Veronica Champ proved with her Japanese matcha roll cake. Who knew a simple roll cake could impress the judges this much? Veronica's creation was a perfect blend of Eastern and Western flavors. She filled her matcha sponge cake with a delicate chestnut cream, creating a one-of-a-kind combination. What really stole the show was the intricate pattern on the cake's exterior. Even the judges admitted they didn't know how to pull off such a feat in such little time frame. It was nothing short of extraordinary. There was a perfect balance between the chestnut cream and the green tea, with a surprise crunch from white chocolate. The sponge was incredibly moist. Sometimes perfecting a single dish can be more impressive than creating something overly complex.
It's extraordinary.
Thank you, Chef.
There's a perfect balance between the chestnut cream and the green tea, and that white chocolate crunch. Outstanding.
Thank you, Chef.
Number 7. Josh Miller's Chocolate Sphere. There's nothing quite like a dessert with a bit of drama. Yes, a plain old tasty dessert is good, but sometimes what you need is a little presentation to spice things up. And Chef Josh Miller knows how to do just that. Josh's creation was a sight to behold, a perfectly tempered chocolate sphere. The real magic happened when the judges poured hot chocolate over it. The sphere melted away, revealing a hidden world of flavors inside. It was like watching a magician perform a trick, except this one was edible. Inside the sphere, Josh had tucked away a fig cake and some homemade sponge toffee. The flavors were spot on. The figs were cooked to perfection with just the right amount of butter and seasoning. For a big guy not used to creating dainty desserts, Josh had pulled off something truly spectacular.
This dessert needs to reveal what lies beneath it. It has to be that perfect thickness in order for that magic to happen.
Yes.
Right on cue.
Number 6. Fallen ice cream cone. Who says desserts always have to be picture perfect? Trevor Connie took a different approach on Season 4 of MasterChef Canada with his fallen ice cream cone. Trevor's creation featured a chocolate mint gelato paired with a Dutch cocoa pazili cone and a creme fraiche whip. It was like childhood memories served on a plate, but with a gourmet twist that had the judges intrigued. According to the judges, this playful dish really struck a chord. While the ice cream was a bit too frozen, the flavors were just spectacular. The balance of chocolate and mint was right there, and that little touch of salt in the ice cream, pure genius, bringing out the chocolate flavor even more. Number 5, Mango Alfonso. As you already know, presentation is key for desserts. And boy did Christy Tanya nail it with their Mango Alfonso. Christy's creation was a symphony of elements, each one perfectly executed. The star of the show was undoubtedly the mango, but it was a supporting cast that really made this dessert sing. From the perfectly tempered chocolate to the calamansi sorbet that packed a zesty punch, every component had its role to play. Christy absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Despite giving her a hard time during preparation, the little choux bun had just the right texture. But what really set her dessert apart was how all these elements came together. It wasn't just a collection of tasty bits on a plate, it was a carefully orchestrated experience. Each bite was a journey through different textures and flavors, all harmonizing perfectly. Number 4, Stepped Toffee Apple. When Christina presented her Stepped Toffee Apple, it was clear she was putting her heart on a plate. This wasn't just a dessert. It was a love letter to one of the most beloved fairground treats, elevated to MasterChef standards. Christina's creation was beautiful, with its shiny glaze catching the light and making mouths water before the judges even picked up their spoons. While she missed a couple of elements like the apple jellies and shards, the spirit of the dish was undeniably there. According to the judges, Christina nailed the most crucial parts. The mousse had the best consistency of all the contestants that day.
I think she's done really well with the mousse. It was probably the best consistency of the three. It looks nice, it's smooth. And her spoon as well, it's better than Ashley.
The apple gel was a standout, adding a pop of flavor that tied the whole dish together. And that glaze was shinier than all the others. Number 3, White Noise. Almost everyone who has watched MasterChef Australia knows about Reynold poernomo, a god when it comes to making desserts. This time, he created a dessert called White Noise. Reynold's creation was a symphony in white. Jasmine gelato, coconut, frozen ganache, white chocolate crumble, strawberry gum jelly, yogurt gel, and little white pebbles, all brought together with a strawberry consommé gel. It was like a winter wonderland on a plate, each element carefully crafted to create a harmonious whole. The judges were blown away before they even tasted it. It was elegant, technical, and breathtaking. According to Gordon Ramsay, it tasted even better than it looked. There was a perfect balance of flavors, contrasted textures, and overall execution.
This is the kind of ephemeral art that we expect from the best pastry chefs in the world. It's texturally contrasting, a liquid gel centered with that crunchy crumble, the sort of cherries on snow.
Number 2, Carrot Cake. Most people thought Anna was playing it safe when she decided to make a carrot cake. But as any chef will tell you, nailing a classic is often harder than creating something new. Despite missing a couple of elements like the tempered chocolate and cream cheese frosting, Anna's focus on getting every component exactly how she remembered it paid off big time. It was a carrot cake deconstructed and reimagined, yet still true to its roots. It was a beautiful balancing act. The flavors were spot on, with the sorbet and cremousse stealing the show. In short, these elements just pop, adding a bright, vibrant freshness to the dish. The crumb brought a satisfying crunch, proving that texture is just as important as taste in a great dessert. Number 1, Forbidden Fruit. The top spot goes to another dessert by Reynold poernomo. This time, he presented what he called the Forbidden Fruit. It was a temptation on a plate. Reynold's dessert was absolutely stunning. It was a glossy, apple-like sphere made of chocolate mousse and raspberry coulis, coated in ganache and cocoa butter. It sat on a bed of chocolate soil, surrounded by fresh raspberries and strawberries, with a raspberry sorbet on the side. The judges were awestruck before they even tasted it. When they finally cracked open the apple, revealing the luscious filling inside, you could practically hear the angels sing. According to the judges, everything about this dish was right. The intensity of the raspberry sorbet, the smoothness of the mousse, the rich chocolate, the perfect cocoa butter coating, it all came together in a symphony of flavors and textures.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Reynold's Forbidden Fruit was special because of its creativity and flawless execution. The competition was only in week 2 and Reynold was already killing it. This dessert wasn't just good for this stage of the competition, it was simply extraordinary. Period.